Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Miss TBTV. So, last week in one of our class sessions, we were this particular session was discussing the environment and the impact that I guess we as humans have had on the environment, the impact, the effect that we have had by the things that we are doing or not doing, if we want to say that, like such as recycling. Now, some people are probably like, she talking about recycling today? Yeah, I'm talking about recycling today. Well, we going through all of the as they say, the rigmarole, about this about environment, that about environment, talking about energy and just all these different things in regards to environment. But then we get to this exercise. And when we started doing this exercise, we was doing it like a Price is Right type of game. And we had to put the different items, the various items next to the years that we felt like this is how long that these things would take to decompose, you know what I'm saying, without what it says, without treatment, okay? Because I'm looking at this form. Let me put this on. Well, anyway, once we got through doing this whole exercise, the entire class, when I say we were wowed, we were wild. We were surprised at what came up or what the answers were as to how long it would take various items to decompose if they were not treated. So meaning if they weren't sent to the proper place, if things that were supposed to be recycled, if they're not recycled, when we just throwing trash all around, on the ground and things like that, when we're just throwing things in the water, like when the oceans and all these things are filled with all of this trash and stuff like that, when things are discarded in that manner, this is the amount of years that it takes, okay, for these things to decompose. So for instance, an apple core, like you eat an apple, you get finished eating it and you throw it down, it take about a month for that to decompose. I'm gonna skip to a pair of shoes. A pair of shoes, if these some old shoes that somebody had and they left them out on the beach or whatever and they went over into the water and it took time for them to decompose, it would take 50 to 80 years for these shoes to decompose. I'm going to get down to something as simple, a common everyday thing that's being used all over the world, a diaper, okay? A baby diaper, all right? A Huggies, a Loves, a Pampers, or whatever, a baby's diaper. If it is not discarded in a proper manner and it had to decompose without treatment, it would take a diaper 550 years to decompose. That's crazy. 550 years. Do y'all know how many lifetimes that is? Okay, that's about 7, 8 lifetimes, because most of us are not living until we're 100. So that's not even 5 lifetimes. That's about 7 or 8 lifetimes for a diaper to decompose. And then I'm going to jump all the way down to the bottom. I'm going to say, you know what, a plastic bottle. When we're drinking out of these water bottles every day, that's something so simple and easy that we can recycle, throw them in a recycle bin. It takes 450 years for a plastic bottle. You drinking a Pepsi? You drinking a Mountain Dew? You drinking some water? You know what I'm saying? When you get finished with that bottle and you just throwing it in throwing it down or throwing it in whatever trash and it is not properly being disposed of, it can take up to 450 years for this to decompose. And last but not least, it was other things on this list, but skipping through, last but not least, aluminum foil. We use aluminum foil all the time, every day. Okay? Every darn near to wrap something up, to cover something up. Foil. So aluminum foil will never decompose without treatment because of what it is made out of. It will never decompose without treatment. All right, y'all. Y'all like, she giving an environmental lesson today. Yes, I'm giving an environmental lesson today. The reason why I'm giving this environmental lesson is when we was talking about this, I ended up telling them about my neighbor, one of my neighbors on my block. I had ran outside. This was last year. And because I'm like, oh my God, I done forgot to bring my recycle bag. I have a recycle bag next to my garbage can in the house. And then I take that out and dump it into the recycle bin that's next to my garbage can. Well, it was trash pickup day. And I had forgot to bring my recycle bag that was in the house outside and dump it into that. And I had already heard the garbage trucks going down the street. And they come down twice. Once to pick up the trash, once to pick up the recycling material. Well, I'm thinking, it seemed like I heard them come down twice. So I'm running on out and I'm saying to myself, oh man, I done missed them. You know what I'm saying? Because my recycle bag in the house was full. And even though, yeah, I could just throw it out there or whatever, now that thing going to be full until next week. And then I'm going to be done built up the things again. So point is, I thought I forgot it. So when I'm coming out there and I'm saying that, my neighbor, he's standing outside. And he said to me, I don't even recycle anymore. You know, he telling me you might as well just throw that stuff on in the garbage because they're not even recycling anyway. They throwing it all in the same trash or whatever. So we had a conversation back and forth about that. And I told him, you know what, I did think that one day that it seemed like that they was throwing the recycle items into that same garbage truck. It did seem like that to me. And he gonna say, yep, so what's the sense to or the point to recycle? But then I went on to say to him, I said, you know what? I don't know. You know, they could have done it. I was like, but I guess now that I am in this place where I recycle, I can't even not recycle. I told him, I said, it make me think about when I was a kid, you know, when I was a little girl and I used to go to church with my grandma. This is my grandma teen that lives with me. And I remember being 10, 11, 12 years old when we would be in the church. And the pastor would say stuff like, I need 10 people to give $1,000. And my grandmother, she used to sit on the front row on the women of faith and she would do like this and just throw up her hands so nicely, you know, bring it on down because she wanted the 10 people that's about to give $1,000. I ended up saying something to her one day because I'm looking like, Grandma, you giving the church $1,000 because that didn't make sense to me. Like, why is you giving them $1,000? She said because they said they need $1,000 for X, Y, and Z. So I'm saying to her, but how you know they're gonna do X, Y, and Z with it? You don't know if they're gonna do that. You giving $1,000 and they getting 10 of y'all to get $1,000. That's $10,000. They might not do it. And she said to me, I'm not worried about what they might not do. She said, I'm not worried about what they might not do. She said, I'm concerning myself only with what they said that they was going to do with that $1,000. Okay? She was like, I can't worry about that. She said, as long as I know that I'm doing the right thing, as long as I know that I'm giving this money for this particular thing that they said that they needed it for, she said, the rest of that, she said, that's their business. That's up to them. She said, they can do what they want to do. She was like, because that's between them and God. So that's how I think about it. That's the same way that I have thought when I was giving in church. That's the same way I think in regards to recycling. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing my part. I'm doing my part to try to save this environment, try to save this world. Throwing my stuff in the recycle bin. If they taking that stuff and they throwing it in the regular garbage, then shame on them. If they taking that stuff and throwing it in the regular garbage, then, oh, well, this same earth that I'm living on, they living on it too. So if it was to all of a sudden decombust, okay, tomorrow it's going to decombust on all of us. But I know that I done did the right thing by putting it in there because this is what they say to do. They say this is helpful. They say, hey, you know what I'm saying? This can, this can slow down the process of the global warming and all of that because global warming is real, y'all. Okay, I ain't into all of that, but I know y'all got to see it. I know y'all got to see it with the shifts that the seasons have done. You know what I'm saying? Spring is now summer. Summer is now fall. Fall is now winter. Winter is now spring. Okay? This stuff ain't just happening, for no reason. Okay? So all of that I'm saying, starting from the recycling down to the giving the money at the church and all of these other things. It's just the point I'm making is when we know we're supposed to do something right, when we know we're supposed to do something right, just do whatever right because you know you're supposed to do something right. Don't worry about what the next person is doing. Don't concern yourself about the next person. Don't concern yourself about who they said they don't even really do that. They saying they really. Don't concern yourself about that. If this something that you feel like within yourself, like, I want to do this, I think I should do this, You do it because it's right. And you do right because doing right is the right thing to do. That's what you do. That's why you do the right thing. Not because of anybody else. You don't have to follow suit with anybody else. Because if somebody else thought the right thing to do, we're going to go back old school. If somebody else thought the right thing to do was to jump off a bridge, is that what you're going to do? You're going to go jump off a bridge because they thought that that was the right thing to do? You know what I'm saying? Nah, nah, no. That I'm going to do what I know is the right thing to do. Me, Keita. That's what I'm going to do. All right. And if just so happen, if I don't know the right thing to do and someone points it out to me, it goes to the thing of I was speaking to my family about, as far as when we go all the way back to this whole recycling thing, about down in the city. Down in the city in Detroit, I'm saying, they don't have recycle bins. They don't have recycle bins, not in the areas that I have seen. Okay. They don't have recycle bins. So they're not recycling everything that they have: water bottles, laundry detergent bottles, milk cartons, everything, cardboard, everything just goes into one receptacle, which is the garbage can. All right. But that's not their fault. It's not their fault because they don't know to recycle. It's one of those things, if you knew better, you would do better. You would. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to believe for 1 second that the people down in Detroit or in any of these inner city areas would not recycle if they were taught to recycle. Put it out there in front of them. They probably wouldn't instantly do it on day one. I already spoke about this before. They probably wouldn't instantly do it on day one. They probably wouldn't do it in a month. They probably wouldn't do it in 5 months, but eventually they would go on and succumb to, this other container is for me to throw in my recyclable items. Do you see what I'm saying? But we have to be, I guess, pointed in that direction a lot of times to do what is right. And once you know what is right, then you just do what is right. You just do what is right. No matter what other people doing, you do what's right. Okay? Okay? So that's my recycling lesson. That's my do what is right. You do what is right lesson for today. I hope it was helpful. If you live in an area where you can recycle, seriously, if you can live in an area where you can recycle, please do. Let's do our part to try to save this place, okay? Because we only have one Earth, so, and I know they're trying to figure out stuff on the moon and Mars or whatever. I don't know what they done figured out. And if they have figured it out, we ain't going to be living on the moon or the Mars or whatever because we ain't got no money, okay? That's for the rich folks, okay? So we need to say the one place that we living on, for real. So if you can recycle and you living in an area where you can recycle, do that, all right? Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Okay, push that button. Push the button if you haven't already. If you've been sitting here watching me, subscribe. Share it. Like it. I wish you all safe travels. I wish you all a safe day. I wish you all a blessed day. And I will talk to you all tomorrow.